Hello, I'm sitting here with Nadia Boersch, brand strategist. She has worked for companies like Uber, Philip Morris, Nestle, so really like the biggest companies in the world, and she is the absolute expert on branding. So thank you so much
Welcome.
for taking the
Super
time
happy.
and answering some questions, because what I really would love to know, what do you do if you start your own business? How do you, I mean, if you're not a marketing expert and brand expert like you are, what are like the essentials? How do you start to set up your own brand?
Yes. Well, what I always tell people is, first of all, whilst you're still, if you're employed and whilst you're still working at a company, you should start transitioning to position yourself as the authority in whatever it is that you want to do.
Super important.
That means you need to start building your personal brand. You need to start looking for speaking engagements. You can put content out there, and you can start doing that at any point in time. And actually, your employer will value that as well, because it positions yourself as an authority in your market, and it makes you more valuable for the company. So whatever you're doing, start doing that right now. Start thinking about what can I start building content on to position myself as an expert and an authority in whatever it is that you want to do, or whatever it is that you're doing right now. So that's the first thing.
May I ask you, what channels would you recommend? So like, we're doing a video now,
Yeah.
I'm writing blogs and everything, but what would you recommend?
It always depends. First of all, I would always recommend people to use the channel that they're most comfortable with, and the channel where you have the most reach. And you also have to consider your target group, right? So you have to go where your target group is. So if you want to speak to journalists and politicians, your channel is going to be Twitter. If you want to speak to entrepreneurs, you should go on Facebook. And if you want to speak to corporates, you should go on LinkedIn. And if you want to speak to millennials, you have to go on Snapchat, even though by the time this video is publicized, it's probably already out of order as well.
And we are millennials, and I'm not on Snapchat, so I'm not sure about that.
So it always depends.
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing. And the second thing I always tell people is that you need to be extremely careful when you start your own business. You need to build a brand strategy and a marketing strategy behind it. So a lot of people build like their business, and they made a business strategy, like they make the business model, but they forget about the brand. And that is gonna shoot you in the foot at a later point in time, because if you don't have your brand strategy set up from the get-go, it's gonna be very hard for you even to motivate your employees. And if you don't motivate your employees, who's gonna buy your brand? So that's something that's very important, to set that up from the beginning. And if you don't have somebody to do that, you need to get somebody to support you with it.
So, I mean, you're an expert, you can tell from the way you were talking. So I want to go back to the target group. As you
Yes.
said, you need to know where your target group is. That's how you decide on which channel you're using.
Yeah.
How do I know where my target group is? Who my target group is?
Well, first of all, you have to really consider what your product or your service is, and then you have to consider, okay, so who do I want to reach out? So it's either a choice that you make, and I would always recommend to start out with a niche. So rather go for a small niche at the beginning and then expand, rather than trying to get them all in the beginning and then figuring out, oh no, this is not working, because you need to cast a very, very small net at the beginning. And the next thing is you need to create personas. So you need to create target group personas. You need to know them really, really, really well. And then what you need to do is you need to go and hang out with them. So this is the key secret, is to think about, so, okay, so where do these guys hang out? And then you need to go and hang out with them, spend time with them, introduce them to your product, and just ask them, so if I would try to sell you this, what would you think? What would make you buy? And this is really, really important, and it's one of the secrets that I've kept throughout all of my career, and what none of the other marketing managers did in the corporates. But this is, you can do focus groups for thousands and thousands of money, or you can just think smartly and figure out where they are and just go where they are and speak to them.
Because especially when you start, you don't have thousands and thousands of euros to spend for that or whatever.
No.
And I think that's really valuable. So what I heard from that is just start.
Yeah.
Start today. It's super easy, and I mean, everything is for free. Go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn. Everything is for free. Go there, position yourself, but first know who you wanna target.
Yes, and build a strategy. Whatever you do, you have to be strategic about everything that you do.
Wow.
So really, really build a strategy. Think about what you post. Think about your content. Build a strategy and roll it out consistently.
So I think that's amazing for the first start, and I hope Nadia is going to share more of her wisdom with us, because that's just like, you know, that's just how you start right now. But then there's so much more, as I can, you know, you're talking, and it's super exciting. And thank you so much for sharing
You're
that.
so welcome, and I hope you get started, and I hope these tips really, really, really are very useful for you. And just get started, get out there, start doing something.
Do that.